try to keep this short. There's a lot of movies, there's a lot of TV shows, there's a lot of reaction videos on YouTube. And I need y'all to understand that most people suck. It's advertising, it's not propaganda, but there are people who are asked questions and they are, by new students, and they want to address these things. And one of the problems that I have with new students is they will often come in with something that they saw in an instructional video or a movie or an anime, and they'll think that because these guys who have done 15, 20 years of training are teaching it at the basic level, that this is a basic technique and anybody should know it. None of that is true. Basic techniques are things that are easy to learn, or things that they absolutely want you to learn because of a relevant enemy that you might run into. People will do knife disarms, for example. Knife disarms require you to be better at knife fighting than the person holding the knife. It is not a basic technique. But if 9 times out of 10 somebody's going to pull a knife on you, you're going to need to know those knife disarms in your first year of training. There's a bunch of people teaching gun disarms, which made me cry, because their primary argument is that guns are easy to disarm because the hand is weak or something. I'm not really. Yeah. Students and some instructors who have no experience or are misrepresenting their experience can often say some crazy shit. So you need to recognize basic moves are things that are taught easily or things that you absolutely need to know. Medium level moves, your mid-level, your mid-range of technique, are things that defeat all of the basic moves and correct any mistakes that you come in. So if you're doing a bunch of basic moves and you are only fighting people within your school, that's going to limit your experience. Your mid-level of training deals with that. The mid-level of training corrects the mistakes from people who misunderstood the basic training and chose to stay. Your mid-level moves are also going to be sometimes proprietary moves, things that the school has developed on its own, or things that require a long time to train, and teaching it to you is literally a test to see if you're willing to stay around long enough or do the training. Then you have your advanced moves. Your advanced moves obviously can defeat all of the other techniques. Your advanced moves allow you to fine-tune all of your skill, but there's a significant number of advanced moves that are things that require special skills. Like if you can't do a fingertip on your push-up on your fingertips, a lot of your fingertip strikes are pretty much useless. There's a lot of people who don't bother training the fingers, but for some reason they still do fingertip strikes, and then they have to complain that their fingertip strikes don't really work, that they're fraudulent. They're not fraudulent, those people just suck. Your advanced moves also encompass out-of-date training. Disarms and ways to fight with weapons that nobody uses anymore, copper weapons, bronze weapons, fighting against different types of armor, and fighting in situations that you will probably not run into. Not many people get into a fight in a swamp. Not many people are on a sheer cliff and still have to kick somebody in the face. So those are your advanced techniques. Those are your standing on a tree limb, balancing on one foot while you do everything because you've literally only found one place to stand, and if you step anywhere else, you're just a sitting target. Fighting while injured. Somebody kicks you in the knee. How do you keep fighting from that? Most styles don't teach that because they're tournament styles, and the ref will stop things when people get too injured. But if you are fighting in your home, you're gonna need to know how to fight after you've been stabbed or hit with a bat, because 9 times out of 10, dude's not gonna challenge you. It's gonna be an ambush. So when you are looking at movies, anime, TV shows, people's reactions, most of those techniques are just fundamentally wrong. A dude doing a sword movement in a movie, he's doing that sword movement to show his level of training, his level of religious, spiritual purity, how many years he has actually practiced. He's not doing that sword technique because it's a good decision. A good decision would be very difficult to pick up with the camera. You don't want other people to see your good decisions. Most good decisions are hidden somewhere. There's something in the way. They spit in your eye. They do it where other people can't see. Or they're taking advantage of your poor decision. For example, when dudes fight with swords, you almost never see the guy put the back end of the blade against their own leg and then push it in between them, using the fact that the dude's actually trying to attack you to generate the power for that cut. That would be a good decision. What you're going to see is some dude do some really extended technique. He's going to catch with just the bare tip, and the dude's going to like be disemboweled. That's not how it really works. There's a significant number of cuts that you can do to somebody where they won't bleed at all. The skin just peels back. And then there are cuts that are seemingly innocuous that can cause a person to bleed out. In the movie, it's the rule of cool. In real life, none of that applies. So, don't be one of those students who walks in and saw something on a video and then argues that this is easy to do and somebody should be able to teach you the secret to doing those techniques. There's no secret. There's only work. You do the training, you get the skill. If you don't want to do the training, well, there's some really important skills that they keep at the mid-level. Many schools have incredibly simple things that you could learn at the mid-level and at the advanced level, and people often wonder why they don't teach beginners, and the reason is most people suck, and if you haven't proven that you're going to train, you're not going to get that information. So don't be one of those guys who keeps taking moves from some TV show or some movie and arguing that it should have worked. Your training will prove what works. And there's a great many techniques that will work for you and won't work for anybody else, or will work for other people and won't work for you. And arguing that somebody's wrong other than you just didn't do the training, that's a bad choice. So keep watching those shows. Feel free to do the training, because you really can't lie with the training. Although I have seen more than one movie where a guy standing on one leg has what is obviously a board tied to his leg that you can see through his pants. So be careful out there. Don't be listening to too many people. Always do the training first, and then compare things to the experience. I hope this helps.